Okay, welcome. Thank you guys so much for sharing your evening with us. My name is Dr. Dieter. I'm a board certified internist and pediatrician, and I have a question to ask us. Why are we so sick today? That's the question in society that we should answer. Why are we so sick? And the answer is simple. It's because we eat in ways that harm the body's natural biology. Food is supposed to be medicine, and food can also be poison. And unfortunately, for most of us, food is poison because what's happening is we eat in ways that is harming two key aspects of our biology. Two key aspects of our biology. What are those two aspects, you may ask? Those two aspects that harm our biology are how the body makes energy and how the gut functions. So these two things are the reason why we are sick. You could narrow down most of modern days diseases to these two things: how the body makes energy, and how the gut functions. Answers the question of why we are very sick today. You see, our ancestors 100, 200, 300, 400 years ago ate in ways that their body made energy well and their gut functioned very well. So what I want to do is I want to take these two entities, how the body makes energy, and how our gut functions, and shows you how it ties into the reason why we are so sick today. So let's start with issue number one. How our body makes energy depends on the hormone insulin. Now, insulin is a very critical hormone in the body, and its job is to mobilize glucose out of the blood. You see, when we eat, the end product of absorption is the release of glucose into the blood. The job of insulin is to mobilize that glucose out of the blood into the cell. Right? Now, when glucose gets into the cell, there is a special organelle in the cell called the mitochondria. The glucose is shunted through the mitochondria. The mitochondria is called the um, energy factory of the cell. And in the mitochondria, the glucose goes through a complex series of reactions called the electron transport chain. And that results in the production of an energy molecule called ATP. Okay. And that is how insulin secures the body's energy needs. Now, check this out. Every cell in the body requires energy to function. Every critical system, our body is like a city powered by energy plants. Every cell in the body requires energy to function. The smallest entity of the body is a cell. Cell group up to form tissues, tissues group up to form organs, organ system, and system forms the whole man. Now, the simplest definition of a disease is a group of cells, tissues, organs, or system that has malfunctioned. And the number one reason why a cell, a tissue, an organ, or system malfunctions is the lack of energy. So that's the simplest definition for disease. So when insulin is not able to secure the body's energy needs, when there is a breakdown in this process of insulin securing the body's energy needs, we call that breakdown insulin resistance. Okay, so the question now to ask is, why does this breakdown occur? Because once upon a time ago, God created you and I for our insulin to be perfectly working, securing the body's energy needs. This is what has happened. Remember, I said that we eating in ways that affect two energy systems. Now, in today's day and age, what's happening is that we are consuming too much calories. You see, in a single, let me give you an example. In a single can of a soda, okay, they say that there is more sugar in a single can of a soda than you and I, our ancestors, would have consumed their whole life. So when you consume a can of soda, you have consumed more sugar than your great 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 grandfather 5, 6, 7, 800 years ago would have consumed his whole lifespan. The statistics also say that we are consuming about 30 to 35% more calories today than our ancestors did hundreds and hundreds of years ago. What's the implication of that? You know, every time we eat, insulin has to be called to work. Every time we eat. Each time you bring in a calorie, that calorie is processed into glucose and insulin has to be called to work. So if we are consuming 30 to 35% more calories, than our ancestors did, it means our insulin is working 30 to 35% more than it was designed to work by our nature. You know, Dr. Tiffany, if you had a job and your employer told you, Doc, you're going to work on this job overtime maybe once every year, that's not bad. It's not going to bother you at all. Once in the whole year, you work overtime. But if that same boss came and told you, Doc, on this job, I'm going to have you work 30% overtime every day, what's gonna happen to you? Are you gonna get burned out or not? You got burned out, right? So that's what has happened to insulin. And we have put insulin to work 30 to 35% of the time. Insulin is working overtime and insulin has gotten burned out. Now, Doc, let me pick on you a little. If you get burned out, are you an effective employee at your job or do you become ineffective? In,
Ineffective.
ineffective, correct? So, in the same light, when insulin gets burned out, insulin now becomes ineffective in securing the body's energy needs. When insulin can no longer secure the body's energy needs because insulin has gotten burned out, we say you have insulin resistance. And when you have insulin resistance, it now manifests as all these diseases. Remember, I described the disease as a group of cells, tissues, organs, or system that malfunction because of the lack of energy. So, insulin is so pivotal in securing our body's energy needs that when it can no longer do that, the systems that require energy now fail and diseases show up. That is the simplest reason why we have these diseases. Dr. Kenny, if I gave you a time machine and I asked you to go back 500 years in the past and come back and report to me if any of your ancestors ever had disease in that 500 years back, you're going to come back to me and say, hey, Doc, I didn't find a single person when I went back in this time machine with heart disease. I didn't find a single person with fatty liver disease. We eat in ways that are harming the way our body makes energy. So that's that. The second entity, is how the gut functions. You see, the function of our gut depends on healthy bacteria in our gut. You see, our gut is made up of about 30 to 100 trillion bacteria, and they have a special name called the microbiome. Now, those bacteria perform a very special function in the gut. Our gut is so critical. And now, the bacteria in our gut are supposed to live in what we call a 50-50% proportion. 50% of the bacteria in our gut are what we call bad bacteria, and the other 50% of the bacteria in our gut are what we call good bacteria. Now, under normal circumstances, when you have a 50-50% proportion of the bacteria in the gut, good and bad, the gut is able to perform the functions that it's supposed to. Our gut is so important. One of the functions of our gut is our gut helps to train and regulate the immune system. Did you know that 70% of the body's immune system resides in the gut? 70%. The other 30% of our immune system resides in our bone marrow, our lymph nodes, the lymphatic. Now, our immune system is supposed to go to war for us. It's supposed to protect us against a threat or a danger. That happens when the gut is healthy. When the gut is not healthy because the makeup of the bacteria is not healthy, what happens? Instead of the immune system defending us, the immune system becomes our enemy and begins to attack us because the gut now trains your immune system to turn against you. And that's how you develop autoimmune diseases. These bacteria in the gut are responsible for giving the immune system an appropriate response. Now, when you have a condition that we call a gut imbalance, which is just simply a loss of proportion of the bad and good bacteria, uh, it now throws into compromise the functions of the gut. You see, remember I said that the bacteria in the gut, 50% are supposed to be bad, 50% good. Gut imbalance is when you lose that 50-50% proportion. So the bad bacteria, instead of them being 50%, the bad bacteria may now increase to 70%, and the good bacteria, instead of being 50%, the good bacteria now decrease to 30%. The loss of that normal 50-50% proportion is what we call gut imbalance. And you have to ask the question, what causes gut imbalance? Because our Creator made us perfectly and wonderfully. It goes back to the very first slide. We eat in a ways that affect these two key systems. We eat in a way that affects our gut. How do we eat in a way that affects our gut? Let's go on here. You see, the food for these organisms in the gut is fiber. And I say it like this: every living organism needs nutrients to survive. It doesn't matter if that living organism is the king of the jungle, the lion, or that living organism is a bacteria in our gut. It needs food to survive, nutrients. And the food for the bacteria in the gut is fiber. Fiber is one of those foods that when your maker and my maker created us, he designed that we will not be able to get any calories from fiber. We cannot digest fiber because it is chow for these bacteria. Now, listen to this. We're not consuming enough fiber in today's day and age. You see, the NIH reports that before NIH, an average man is supposed to consume at least 38 grams of fiber a day. An average woman should consume at least 25 grams of fiber a day. Unfortunately, today our foods are so processed. And because our foods are so processed, they have taken out all of the fiber or most of the fiber from our foods. We are not taking in an appropriate amount of fiber. The NIH estimates that in the United States, the average fiber intake of a man and a woman is 10 to 12 grams, which is less than 50% the required dietary amount. Um, Shannon is on here. She can vouch to this. Now, when our ancestors lived hundreds of years ago, their foods were 100% natural. They were not dealing with our modern day foods, which are so devoid of fiber. Do you know, estimates say that our ancestors ate about 80 to 90 grams of fiber a day because there was not such a thing as processed foods. So, because our foods are so processed, there is a shortage of fiber. And when there is a shortage of fiber, what happens is that it causes survival of the fittest. You know, when there is a shortage of food, survival of the fittest sets in the gut. It's just like when there's a crisis, the survival of the fittest that sets in. Remember when we were in the pandemic, the crisis, if you went to the grocery store, to Costco, you'll be lucky if you found bread on the shelf or milk on the shelf or tissue paper on the shelf, any of those things. Survival of the fittest. Now, when there is shortage of the food, survival of the fittest instinct sets in the gut. The bad bacteria are the stronger bacteria. So what happens is, because it is stronger bacteria, in the survival of the fittest fight, they win the fight. So they hoard the little fiber that is there, and they now say to themselves, you know, we don't have enough fiber of food to go around for us, the bad guys and the good guys. So we're stronger. So let's do this. Let's as we hoard this food, let's increase our army so we could keep a monopoly on this food. They now increase their army to 70% to keep a monopoly on the little fiber that's there at the expense of the good bacteria. When that happens, we say you have gut imbalance or dysbiosis. When you now have gut imbalance, the functions of the gut that rely on the makeup of the bacteria in the gut become compromised. You start having disease processes like this. Lupus is an autoimmune disease, Hashimoto autoimmune disease, multiple sclerosis autoimmune disease, celiac autoimmune disease, as a result of the immune system turning against you and attacking you because your gut is not healthy. Remember, 70% of the immune system resides in the gut, gets its training from the gut. So these are depiction of some of the illnesses, and I want to highlight these two diseases here, anxiety and depression, because I found this very interesting 3 years ago when I first learned this science, that anxiety and depression come from the gut. You see, there is a hormone called serotonin. Serotonin, some people call it a neurotransmitter, some people call it a hormone. It's a happy hormone or a mood hormone. I was astonished to find out 3 years ago when I first learned that this metabolic science, that 90% of the hormone serotonin is produced in the gut, and the other 10% of it is produced in the central nervous system. I always thought in medical school that all of serotonin was produced in the central nervous system. Now imagine this. You have two factories. Let's say you have a factory that an industry that produces, that has two factories. One of the factories is in North Carolina. Let's say the gut is North Carolina, and the other factory is in South Carolina. And they make a product called serotonin that ensures happiness and mood. They send that product to the market. Okay? And the bulk of the product is produced in North Carolina, the other small part in South Carolina. Something happens to the factory in South Carolina, it goes out, and only 10% of the product can come to market. That's what happens, and you have anxiety and depression when the gut is taken out. Now, these two entities here, how we eat, these two entities that have affected how we eat, affecting how the body makes energy and how the gut functions, are the cause of our modern day diseases. They result in an energy deficiency, and that energy deficiency drives our disease processes. Now, there is good news, because as much as the evidence shows that those two entities, how the body makes energy and how the gut functions, are the cause of our modern day diseases. There is sufficient evidence now that says if we can restore how the body makes energy, address insulin resistance, or restore the balance of the gut, which resulted in an energy deficiency that caused the disease processes. If you can restore that, then the diseases that were as a consequence of this energy shortage can now be reversed. And I like giving this analogy of a car driving on the road. You're driving your car on the road and it runs out of gas and it stops. It stops not because there's intrinsic failure of the engine. It stops because you run out of gas. Now, if you were to walk to a gas station, buy gas in a gallon, and walk back to your car on the side of the road, that car, and you put gas back in that car, it starts again because you have given it back its energy. So it is with the body, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple, but that profound. The diseases that we face today in modern day society are as a result of energy deficiencies because of how we eat. The way we eat affects those two critical systems. If we could restore that energy shortage, those diseases that were a consequence of that energy shortage will go away. And so I want to introduce to you a solution that does just that, called the Feel Great system. And what this is, it's a nutraceutical, means it's a product made 100% from plants, and has huge therapeutic benefits. And what this does is it's science. It uses the science of intermittent fasting and fiber supplementation to reverse insulin resistance and reverse gut imbalance. The two culprits that cause the energy deficiency. Now, let's talk about the very first product in the Feel Great system, the nutraceutical, and what it does to reverse the energy problem. Remember, I said that we have eaten, insulin has been working 30 to 35% of the time and has gotten burned out. You see, 400, 500,000 years ago, our ancestors did not eat 3 meals a day. I'll be generous to say that we eat 3 meals a day because we're pretty much eating 3 meals a day and snacking throughout the day. We're grazing like cows on a ranch. So what we want to do if insulin got burnt out because insulin has been working, we need to get insulin, to recuperate from the burnout. And that's where intermittent fasting comes in. Dr. Tiffany, I'll pick on you again. If you get burned out from a job, right, what's the best way to recuperate from that burnout? Is it
Stop working.
stop working? Rest. You're correct. Rest. That's it. The best way to recuperate from burnout when you're burned out is stop doing the thing that made you burn out. Rest. So, what happens? We're going to use the science of intermittent fasting because when you are fasting, you're not putting your insulin to rest, to work. Insulin worked too much and has gotten burned out. So this product called Unimate helps you to fast. We recommend that using this as a solution, you should start simulating what your ancestors did hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Um, some estimates say that our ancestors ate 3 to 5 meals a week. I'm not saying we should do that, but we should begin to incorporate intermittent fasting to give our insulin a rest. Now, we recommend that when you're using this product, you should commit to fasting for at least 16 hours. And ladies and gentlemen, it is simpler than you think. We recommend that you no longer eat breakfast and eat 2 meals a day, just lunch and dinner. The idea that breakfast is the most important meal in the day is an idea that is not based in science and doesn't cooperate with the body's biology. Okay, that was a marketing idea, to sell you breakfast food. Now, we recommend that you fast for 16 hours to rest your insulin that has burned out. So let's say I have a meal at 7 p.m. I have dinner at 7 p.m. and I go to bed at 10 p.m., right? I don't eat anything after I've had dinner until I go to bed. And I wake up in the morning at 7 a.m. I've gone from 7 p to 7 a. I've been fasting for 12 hours. 8 of those hours that I was fasting was at night, was while I was sleeping. So you've already been out of this 16 hours, you've already been fasting for 12 hours. We want to try to stretch your fast by 4 more hours, because the more we stretch your fast, the more insulin is resting. The more insulin rests, the more insulin recuperates from the burnout. And what the Unimate product does is it's rich in a special phytonutrient called chlorogenic acid. And what chlorogenic acid does is that when you sip it, and I'll demonstrate to you how you use it. When you sip it, the Unimate causes the body to produce GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide. It causes the body to shut down the hunger hormone. So it helps you to be able to go from 7 a.m. until 11, when it will be 16 hours. Fasting just by sipping on this. I have a bottle of this. Just by sipping on this, you shut down the hunger center and you can fast and extend your fast and rest insulin. When you are doing that, insulin is recuperating from its burnout. When insulin recuperates from its burnout, insulin can now be an effective employee to go back to securing the body's energy needs. And the diseases that then came as a consequence of the energy deficiencies go poof and gone. So we're using the science of intermittent fasting to do that. The other thing in the product is something called balance. Both products, again, I said, are made from plants. What balance is that balance is fiber made from 7 different plants. And fiber is very important in giving insulin a rest. Remember, we want to rest insulin from its burnout. How is fiber important in giving insulin a rest? Fiber decreases your glucose spike or decreases your glycemic index, decreases the amount of calories or glucose that a food is going to cause you to produce. And you may ask, how is that? The reason being that fiber slows down the transit of food through the GI tract. The slow transit of food through the GI tract will result in slow absorption and slow release of glucose in the blood. Otherwise, without fiber, fast transit through the GI tract and fast release of glucose through the blood, in the blood. And it looks like this. If you and I went to an Italian restaurant to have lasagna, and we ordered exactly the same plate of lasagna, and that's you and that's me. You ate your lasagna without fiber. Your blood sugar is going to do this, and that blood sugar for you may be a blood sugar of 170. For me, I know a thing or two about fiber, and I know that the balanced product is very rich in fiber. So I consume the balanced product, and eat the exact same quantity of lasagna, the same plate. My blood sugar is going to do this. And that blood sugar for me may be a blood sugar of 80. The consequences of this is because you have produced, your blood sugar has gone up to 170, your pancreas is going to have to produce a commensurate higher amount of insulin to deal with that blood sugar of 170. So for you, your pancreas is going to produce 20 units of insulin. Okay? For me, my pancreas will produce a commensurate lower amount of insulin to deal with that blood sugar of 80. So my pancreas produces 5 units of insulin in that case. Now, if insulin became burned out because it was working too much, to make insulin reverse its burnout, you need to make insulin work less. So this is you. More insulin is working. This is me. Less insulin is working. More for you. So that's what fiber does. It helps your insulin rest even more. And when insulin rests, it recuperates from the burnout. The other thing is that fiber, so I've showed you how the Unimate helps to reverse the energy problem, and fiber helps to reverse the energy problem. We're using the science of intermittent fasting and fiber supplementation to address the two root causes. The last thing is that fiber helps to reverse gut imbalance. Remember, I said that fiber is food for the microbiome, this bacteria in the gut. When you start consuming the balance, as I said, is made of fiber from 7 different plants. You start nourishing the gut. There is now enough food to go around for the bad guys and the good guys. And then there is no need for infighting because the good guys and the bad guys now have enough food. And so it restores that 50-50 balance. And the diseases that then came as a result of the loss of that 50-50 balance begin to fall in check. This is how those two systems work. I want to just demonstrate to you quickly how you take them. The very first product called the Unimate, I take it 2 times a day. You could take it more than 2 times a day. When you order the product, it comes with a bottle like this. And the bottle has a graduation right here. That graduation right here says Unimate. So the product is powder, yes, made from a plant native to South America, and it has been made into powder. So all you do is you fill the bottle to the level that says Unimate, and then you just empty the powder into it. So I wake up in the morning. I went to bed at 10 p.m. I last had dinner at 7 p.m. I've gotten up at 7 a.m. I've been fasting for 12 hours. I now want to extend my fast to 16 hours. I make this bottle and I pour the sachet in there. And after pouring the sachet of the powder in there, all I do is shake it. And when you shake it, it's ready to go. You just sip on it every 10 to 15 minutes throughout the morning. You do not want to sip on this all at once. No, just every 10 to 15 minutes. When you do, it causes a short burst in the production of GLP-1s to cause you to fast seamlessly, takes away the willpower. And when you're fasting, your insulin is resting. The second product, the balance, is also powder in it. You will fill the bottle to what we call the balance level. So before I talk about the balance, so I make a first bottle of the Unimate in the morning. I drink it until lunch. When I get to lunch, I break my fast. After I have lunch, I make the second bottle of the Unimate and I drink it. I sip on it for another 4 to 5 hours. So I have 2 servings. So that's how you take the Unimate, this product, to help you get your insulin to rest. The second thing is the balance product. The balance product as fiber, you're going to take it every before your heaviest meal. We recommend that you're going to be on 2 meals a day, lunch and dinner. You take it before your heaviest meal. If lunch is your heaviest meal, you take it before lunch, 5 minutes before lunch. If dinner is your heaviest meal, at least 5 minutes before dinner. It's also a powder. You just dilute, fill the bottle to that level that says balance, and dilute the powder in this. And with this, you want to drink it all at once. You do not want to mix it and let it sit around. You just drink it all at once and then have your meal. So just by doing these simple things, you can go and reorder the way the body you can go and reorder the way the body makes energy and the way the gut functions. And so, as a physician, This has become my very favorite tool in helping people to be able to reclaim their health again. Thank you guys for listening. I am going to stop sharing my screen and I am going to hand it out to our moderators to take it from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dieter. And I'll share some before and afters. And then also, if you, everyone would, if you're on this protocol and it's transformed your life or health, if you would just type in the chat so people can see what your experience has been with it. Now, this was me in 2024, as you can see the date above. I was a big boy here. I was about 240 to 50 pounds, chronically inflamed, had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, fatty liver, sleep apnea, and I had AFib. And since beginning this, those things have ceased. And this was me about a month and a half later in the hospital for almost 2 months of my life. My appendix had ruptured. And this was me 35 days apart on this protocol. So, literally, all by reversing insulin resistance using this protocol, fixing my gut, my chronic inflammation's gone. This is a type 2 diabetic foot ulcer. And this is what can happen. Keith was a type 2 diabetic for 25 years. And in 2 days, got off 108 units of insulin, off 15 medications. We'll have him share that. Now, if you saw this husband and wife in the photo to the right, and you saw them in the left, what I love about our company and what we do is our company provides you with a bottle, which is going to look completely different when people see you using this. And when they see your body transform, let me ask you a question. If you observed these people, they were your family or friends, and you saw them transform like that, would you ask them what they were doing? And if so, just put a question mark in the chat for me, would you? Now, this is a friend of mine, John, that I've met through this. John lives in Brownsville, Texas, down near the border of Mexico. And John was or still is a chef. He's 67 years young. Hypertension. He had triple digit blood pressure numbers, both systolic and diastolic. He had fatty liver, had never touched alcohol, and sleep apnea so bad that he was waking up his next door neighbors. Those are 4 months apart and 60, I think it was 65 pounds. All of those chronic diseases are gone. Here's our very own. I had Dr. Dieter beat in the weight department. I know you were kind of a big boy yourself, Doc, but I had you a couple LBs. But this is Dr. Dieter living the standard American diet like I was on the left. Now, he found the power of fasting, and we get this question all the time, and it's extremely valid. The middle picture, Dr. Dieter had been fasting for 6 years. He was also running 2 to 3 times per week long distance. And then he found this tea and fiber that he added to his fasting schedule. This was 2 months on the tea and fiber to the right. And that's Dr. Dieter. Cholesterol panel, I believe, dropped quite a bit too, Doc. I don't want to misspeak on that, but
Yes, by 64 points total cholesterol, 69 points LDL.
wow, I knew it was something, but I didn't want to misspeak. But this is a friend of mine, Colleen. Thank you, Doc. And Colleen was a type 2 diabetic in the picture on the right. Now, these two pictures are a year apart. I know DeLand on here is a nurse. She had been a diabetic, she had said, for 3 years. She's been on the protocol that long. This is food. This is so if you're dealing with any medications, any disease processes, you can do this with any of those things. Now, Colleen was able to reverse type 2 diabetes. She's also off her statins or metformin. She's using 1/4 of a thyroid medication. This is Dr. Dieter lays out gut dysbiosis so beautifully. This is a friend of ours, Deb. Now, Deb in the picture on the left was a size 12, severely insulin resistant. She was getting headaches. She had IBS, a leaky gut, as Dr. Dieter called it, gut dysbiosis. She was also getting low testosterone. 7 months later, she's a size 4 on the protocol. The protocol not only reverses insulin resistance, it detoxes your liver, and it also feeds the gut. So her IBS is gone, headaches are gone, and her allergies are gone. Now here's Angelita, and she's a nurse practitioner. And this photo on the left, her husband's actually a pharmacist, by the way. And this right here, she was on 6 medications a day for 10 years. 5 of those were for GERD and IBS, gut issues, obviously, and she also was on an antidepressant. Now, as Dr. Dieter laid out, your serotonin, your happy hormones made in your gut, when you feed the gut, those things were all by the wayside in she told me 2 weeks. She was off all 6 of those medications. This is Angelita today. Now, this is her husband, the pharmacist. I'm jealous of this. I mean, look at this guy, right? Looks like Dr. GQ. That's gaining muscle, right? And leaning up. Now, this is another foot ulcer. This is John Frost. So this is 1 month and 9 days, a type 2 diabetic under managed care for 25 years, and it's gone. His type 2 reversed in 1 month. This is Keese all the way through. I'll let Keith share that with you. This is Chopper. I believe we're going to have Chopper speak. Chopper was able to reverse his type 2 diabetes in 3 weeks. This is another pastor, Chris. Chris dropped 90 pounds, type 2 diabetes gone, hypertension gone. So this is the last one I'll lead with. This is a lady named Mary, and God bless Mary. Mary had tried every diet known to mankind, as I had myself. She ended up doing the gastric sleeve. And when they do this, they have you eat 5 to 6 small meals a day. Now, remember, as Dr. Dieter taught, when you eat, your blood sugar goes up. And when blood sugar goes up, if you ask a diabetic, the higher your blood sugar goes or the more frequently you spike it, the more insulin you need to take, or your body will make more insulin. And insulin tells your body to go into insulation mode to store fat. She gained it all back. This is Mary under this protocol, even with that surgery, completely transformed her life. So, Dr. Dieter, I'm going to stop my screen share, but I know we're going to have a couple people share. And
Yes.
thank you so much for that opportunity, brother, and thank you for the information as always. And while you're
Sure.
pulling them up to share, I'll just read somebody.
So just tell me who you need me to spotlight.
We were going to have Steve J, and then we were going to have, I think Chopper was going to share.
Okay.
Someone was asking about calorie counting. There is no calorie counting with this.
All right, Steve. Can you unmute and tell us your story? What has been your experience on this? And share with us.
Well, I'm a congestive heart failure patient, and I've always had low energy. And 2 years ago, I almost died. And in fact, I remember when they wheeled me in, like into the ER, and then into the intensive cardiac unit. I passed out, and I heard the doctor, "This is looking bad," and I could hear it, but I couldn't just wake up from it. And then I heard the nurse is like, "No, nurse, this is the last thing we're going to put in him. I think he's not going to make it." And, those words resonate in such a big way every single day of my life. And, I'm just so incredibly thankful to Chopper and Deandra, his wife, for getting me on. A miracle happened this past Saturday. I was, just kind of like my wife was saying, "No, we are invited to this Bollywood event. It's going to be so much fun, and we're going to just have a grand old time." And I'm like, in that no mode for all these many years, I would always look every time just go to bed and just sleep. And I haven't been able to go to sleep. I want to go to sleep. I just have too much energy. I feel like a bunny rabbit. Seriously. I mean, my family's like trying to hold me down. My 12-year-old daughter says, "Dad, you're going to pass out jumping around." I'm like going crazy with this. Sunday, that was yesterday, I was playing around with my daughter, I was having pillow fights. My wife said, "Stop it. I'm going to have to send you somewhere." So anyway, Saturday, I'm going day before that at this Bollywood event. I put on these shoes that I was not able to put on for a very long time. In fact, I wanted to, but I was having so much pain. In fact, I had infection not nearly what I think Dr. Kenny showed as far as those ulcers, but I had like incredible pain in my feet. And, miraculously, things like that has gone away. And I've only started 2 weeks ago, if you want to believe that. I can't imagine me in a month from now. I mean, I'll be in an institution. Seriously, I'm going to have to be, some rope and some chains need to be put on me. But anyway, we get to the Bollywood function, and my wife is like, "What are you doing?" And I just started to dance. The music was just going crazy. And then even at the end, I was dancing for 30 minutes. I mean, I needed to call 911 for myself. But you
Would
know
you
what?
have been able to do that before as a heart failure patient, without being short of breath?
40% ejection fraction, Dr. Dieter, and which was conducted about 7 months ago. I need to probably do it in the next 3 months. I think you suggested I should. And no, I was not. And I mean, I don't know what's happened. So, you know what? I got to go fly an airplane or something. But,
You
you
know,
know, I'm
Steve, were you saying that, brother? I had AFib so bad, I was losing breath walking. I can't imagine you with congestive heart failure. I just wanted to add that. I mean, so I don't have mine anymore, but like, I can't even imagine what you're dealing with, brother, or were, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I feel that that's in the past, and intermittent fasting has caused me less bloatiness. I'm able to get out of my bed without feeling like a burrito, a wet burrito in the bed. And I roll off the bed, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" You know, and this is not you, kind of a thing. So anyway, um, I'm just all smiles and dancing around. In fact, I feel like dancing right now. Seriously.
Thank you. Thank you. We're happy for you. It's a great thing to be able to do something so simple and take back your health. If any of you guys are listening to this, I want you all to understand that the most common culprit for congestive heart failure, number one, is insulin resistance. Number one. But many people don't know that. The way the body makes energy and uses energy impacts everything in the body. The heart is a pump. The heart is a pump and the muscle, that needs energy to function. And when you deprive that heart of the energy it needs to function, you will have congestive heart failure. If you restore the energy deficiencies, you improve the heart function. And so, Steve, I'm so happy to hear your story. And I hope that there are many more lives like this that we can touch, just having people addressing those two simple things that have stolen their health. Thank you for sharing.
you know, Steve, too,
Absolutely.
thank you for, yeah, I'm so grateful for your daughter, right? You know, your wife. I mean, when I almost died last year, that really puts things in perspective with your family. You know what I mean? So thank you for sharing, brother.
Sure. No, I could have written my own eulogy, of course. It would have been, devastating. But I'm here, bro. I'm here. God wants me around. I think this is the answer.
Love it, man.
Thank
Thank you, brother.
thank you.
I think Chopper was going to speak to Dr. Dieter. And then I saw something in the chat. If somebody's getting headaches, grab yourself a great quality salt, Himalayan, Celtic, or Baja Gold. We also have a product called Signal that's phenomenal. It's got citrulline in it for the heart, cardiovascular system, beetroot, and your minerals. You're deprived of minerals, and that'll help you stay hydrated as well. So I just wanted to throw it out there. Chopper, welcome, brother.
Hello, hello. I don't know if I have as much energy as Sneho or Steve has, but mine's kind of boring now compared to him. No, it's been an amazing ride though. I'm so happy for Sneho and Dipti and his whole family. This been an amazing last 2 days for us and him. So it's been very cool. So, but a little bit about me.
Yeah, what was your life like before? You know what I mean? You started the protocol, and what's kind of changed, not only just you, but like your wife as well.
Oh yeah, before the protocol, honestly, I was dealing with a lot of inflammation, a lot of arthritis pain, the weight, headaches, just didn't feel good. I felt off, like this wasn't the way I wanted to spend the rest of my life. And luckily, I was trying to find something that would work because I've been diabetic for 8 years. 2 years I didn't even know about it because my doctor failed to tell me. So found out the hard way in 2019. I went into DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis, coded twice in the hospital, the same hospital that Sneho probably went to, Eisenhower in the Coachella Valley. And luckily, I'm here because of an amazing nurse and a team of doctors and physicians and nurses and whatever. And I'm here. But since being on the protocol, it's been amazing. I've been on it for a little bit over 100 days. I've lost about 48 pounds. I reversed my type 2 diabetes in 3 weeks. No more meds. No more inflammation. Arthritis is gone. I can't tell when it's going to rain anymore, which is kind of weird because it's been a long time.
You were a better weather person than the
Yeah,
weather.
I was a better weatherman about 90 days ago. Now I can't. I don't know when it's going to rain. I sleep a lot better. I was sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night. Now I'm 6 to 7 hours. I deal with PTSD, a retired firefighter, so this has really helped me with that. Also, like it's just kind of my head's quiet now, which is amazing. The wife, she's doing awesome. Dee's doing great. She's down like about 14 pounds. She's sleeping better. She's got more energy. She's looking a lot different. Our daughter is 18 years old and she does it, and she's lost, I believe, 18 pounds. She's doing amazing. She's doing good in college, so it's been awesome. Like I just don't know how to explain it to people. It's been an amazing journey, and I'll be doing this for life. That's for sure.
Has it been easy to share? I mean, have people noticed like your transformation, your wife's transformation?
Yeah, people ask, and I try to explain it to them, and they just don't comprehend how it works. Like I try to explain it to them. I'll get them on the science calls, and they still be like, "How does that work?" Though, like, I don't understand it. So I was like, "Just keep watching, man. Like, or just keep seeing what I'm doing, and eventually,
Just keep sipping the tea, right?
yeah, just and I'll mess around nowhere and say it's tea time, so I'll just break it out, and so that's like the ongoing joke with some of the people at work.
Real quick, I remember you told me a couple weeks ago about your mom.
Oh yeah.
Would you, I mean, like, I know my mom's on this. My mom's taken her kidney function with renal cell carcinoma from 23% to 56% in 2 months. And her cholesterol panel is perfect for the first time in 40 years. And her triglycerides dropped 250 points. So there's nothing more important than when you help your mother, right?
Right.
But I mean, would you just take a second and share that?
Oh yeah. So it's been about 4 weeks since we went down to see you in Florida. And before we met with Dr. Kenny, my mom called me and she's like, "Hey, do you guys got a minute? I got something to tell you." I'm like, "Oh, great, somebody died or something bad happened." And she's like, "Oh no, nothing like that. You know the stuff that I'm doing the protocol with you guys?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "I don't know if it's God or both, but I know it's more God than this." She goes, "But my knees feel amazing." And before this, she was just about to get the cane out and start walking around the house because she has a little 2 or 3 inch step out her front door, and it would take her a good minute or two to get out. Now she's walking. She's taking pictures of herself walking to the lake in her neighborhood, which is about a half a mile from her house. And then she walks around the entire lake. And then a cool thing today, my dad actually started the product. And he's the most stubborn person in the world. Like the man is old fireman, all salty, stubborn as hell. And today he started it. So I was just like, okay, all right, it's on now.
Man, that's wonderful, man. Thank you so much, Chopper.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it, brother. And congratulations, man. We truly appreciate you. And then if we could, I'd love to hear from Dr. Natasha. I would love for her to share what this has done for her. So, and thank you, by the way, Dr. Natasha, for answering so many questions. What's up, beautiful? By the way, I'm going to pull up your photo. I need a new one, but can I show you before and after? Do you mind?
No, I don't mind.
Awesome. Please, sweetheart.
And Dr. Natasha is the reason why I'm doing this.
Oh man, thank you so much. Yes, I'm trying to rapid fire answer as many questions as possible. You guys are on fire today. Thank you.
So let me introduce Dr. Natasha before you. Dr. Natasha is a dear friend of mine. She's a pediatrician. We went to medical school together, and she reached out to me last year and told me about this amazing protocol, which is helping people to take their lives back. And she reached out to me at a time where I felt like my calling was to move out of conventional medicine to really focus on the root cause. So, Dr. Natasha, thank you for reaching out and gifting me with this information to give to others. And thank you for being a dear friend. You have the mic.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dieter. It's full circle because, Dr. Dieter was ahead of me in med school and seeing him graduate. Thank you. Yes. So
that was you. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I had to show that. So I'm like, you look so amazing, sweetheart.
Yes, no worries. And because of him, I saw the end of the tunnel because he graduated before me. And so this is full circle. And so thank you so much for answering the call, Dr. Dieter. My nurse, who I worked with in the pediatric clinic, high stress environment, She did everything her doctor told her to do, but she suffered from autoimmune diseases that Dr. Dieter mentioned is attributed to gut health. And she ate like a rabbit. She had a personal trainer. She did everything right, but her endocrinologist said, you need to eat less gluten, and so she did, and she still had a lot of inflammation, and she had Hashimoto's thyroiditis, she had Crohn's issues, and because of the gut health issues, she also had mood issues. And so when I saw her physically change in front of me, finally, after years of suffering, I was like, I couldn't believe something could be so simple. At the same time, I myself was going through my own, constipation, also like IBS constipation type as well, and mood issues, and also, overweight, obesity, and all of this was attributed to insulin resistance, and yet we didn't study that in med school. So although I was fasting, when I started this protocol, my results increase or improve rapidly. Just like Dr. Dieter, he was running miles every day, which is great, but it still wasn't addressing the root cause. And so I was very fascinated by this system, and I saw results within a few months. And then I started to share this with my family. My mom reversed her prediabetes. My sister's on the verge of reversing some of her chronic diseases, and friends, Dr. Angelita and her husband are friends from church. And so, long story short, this is where we are now. So this is the power of sharing something that even doctors aren't aware of. And this is going to literally make a dent in the world. Thank you.
Thank you. And man, I mean, unbelievable transformations, Dr. Natasha. Thank you so much for all you do and all the help that you provide. We're so honored to work with you. Thank you.
And just to say, guys, Dr. Natasha is going to be helping us on these calls. In the very near future, she'll be giving some of the science calls for us, and we'll be flipping roles. I may be in the background answering the questions in the chat, and she will be at the forefront every now and then. So let's welcome and get to know Dr. Natasha.
Absolutely. Dr. Tiffany, do you have a minute? I would love for you to speak if you can, sweetheart.
Oh, of
Is there other
course.
rock
Of
star?
course. Ha ha ha. I'm so happy to see Dr. Natasha. Hey, that's my sister doc for people that don't know. So excited to see you. Yes, love it. She's all in the comments. And so yes, great job, you guys. I'm just here, happy to be here. Now, I'm happy to be here, one, because just like everybody else, it was like this stuff can't be real. Why are they telling me this stuff? I've been doing family practice for 20 years. I did urgent care, private practice, my own business. I mean, all these things, telemedicine. And when I got to see how sick people were across 48 states, that's when I got to fully understand we weren't doing our job. This is what I signed up for. I didn't sign up for to keep giving people a bunch of medications and they keep looking like crap, for lack of a better word, right? And feel like crap, right? And so, anyhow, I started getting involved in lifestyle medicine, which is about going after the root causes of conditions, which is what we are able to do with these natural products. I started getting on social media because once I know something, I figure I got to share and tell everybody else. And so I got on there and got connected with an engineer no less, Anne-Marie. And she started telling me about these things. And much like some of you probably on this call, this stuff isn't real. These people are just saying stuff. And I had to do the research. I had to vet this like I did with any pharmaceutical rep that would come to my office. And it was done for me. I started taking it, was able to go for my blood pressure medicine, start getting my waistline back to get the shape I like to look like. And I got to help my brother get off his insulin and his Trulicity, metformin, while he was in the ICU for the second time and close to DKA because he doesn't want to take care of himself. But I learned then. And since then, I've been able to help hundreds and able to join with you all on calls like this and help anybody else who wants to listen. So who wouldn't want to keep doing this, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Tiffany, I mean, what kind of message do you and Dr. Natasha and Dr. Dieter get? I mean, like, I'm sure you get the same. I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, I've never got messages like this in my life that I get around the world, So thank you. It's incredible. That's the part why we became doctors, right? Whatever field it was, right? And I just feel so blessed to work with you guys.
Same here.
All right. Dr. Natasha, Dr. Tiffany, Dr. Kenny, thank you guys. I want us to do one more sharing. There's somebody asking a question about sleep apnea, and let's see if we could spotlight Dr. Festus to talk about sleep apnea and his recovery from sleep apnea. So I'll have him on, and Dr. Natasha, Dr. Dr. Tiffany. Thank you guys for your contribution. Okay. Dr. Festus, I'm going to try to spotlight you. There we go, Dr. Festus. So there's a question about sleep apnea. And can you tell us what happened to you? Share with us your testimony about sleep apnea and what this did for you.
Honestly, thank you, Dr. Dida. Thank you, Dr. Natasha. Thank all the doctors in this call. Dr. Dida, particularly you for introducing me to this. I'm one kind of really hard-headed person when it comes to health. And when I met Dr. Dida, he's actually my neighbor. He was talking about this. I'm like, what's this coming from Dr. Dida? He's a very honest person. So, okay, and then I'm like, okay, well, let me try it. I have previously been diagnosed of obstructive sleep apnea since 2013. For 6 months, was on a CPAP machine. It's a machine that you put on. It was very depressing back then. I was 2 years in a pharmacy school. I had just had my son that was extremely preemie from the NICU. He was also on oxygen. So one side of the bed, an oxygen machine, one side of the bed, a CPAP machine. Very depressing. 6 months, I couldn't do it. So came across this Aura appliance. It's cost about $2,000 from a dentist. So for the past 12 years before I discovered this, I actually have to wear that. To just make it very simple, if I were to travel and I didn't put my Aura appliance in my bag and I go to the airport, I will have to cancel my flight and go get my Aura appliance, because without that I couldn't sleep very well. I would snore throughout, numbs. My hands would be numb when I get up, extremely sleepy, extremely tired, and it was just very difficult to cope with that. Now I started the Fugate system. Usually I have to power my 14-hour shifts in the pharmacy with sometimes 3 espressos, Starbucks espressos to make it. I started the Fugate system, the Animante. The following day till now, I will not drink coffee anymore. It has powered my energy. So then after 3 weeks, 3 to 1 month of taking the Fugate system, my energy was really outstanding. My sleep was so good. I was like, man, this is something else. Where's this? Then I started, I took off my Aura appliance just to test it, just to see how will I feel after taking this off. Till then, after this was like May ending, till now, I have not had to wear my Aura appliance. I sleep very well. I sleep peacefully. I get up. I am energized. I power my 14-hour shifts like nothing, and I'm really happy mood. Before, if I didn't have my coffee, I would be the most cranky person. My technicians would go get me my Starbucks just to say, man, you gotta get this, man. You gotta calm down. But guess what? I don't have to worry about that. Like I just stay happy. And having a kid that is autistic, it used to be very challenging. Sometimes you get stuck in this mood. But right now, I don't have to worry about that. I'm just living a happy life, giving the best I can for my kid that is autistic. Thank you so much, Dr. Dida, for introducing me.
I will hand it to Dr. Kenny to moderate and close us.
Yes, sir. Well, whoever brought you onto this call, ladies and gentlemen, we need help. So there's a huge issue out there. And if this sounds like what you've been looking for, if you can see yourself doing this, if you're ready to change the way you feel forever, please reach out to the person that brought you to this call. They have a wholesale price link they can get you. And if this sounds like something for your family and friends that weren't on this call tonight, please make sure to share your link with them, and you get a $10 coupon for each referral. And we are looking to partner with people. So if this looks like something that you want to do, we teach you everything. We plug you into these things, these calls that we have. And there are so many people struggling. I nearly died from what Dr. Dieter just shared with you tonight. And I promised God I was going to teach the world. And I wake up every day just like these other doctors, these other people in here, and we just share. It's not complicated. It's simple. It's sustainable. And everyone's dealing with these issues. And if you don't have these issues, that's even better. I don't have these issues anymore. But just like changing the oil in my car, I'm taking these precautions to keep my body as best as it can, not just for me, but for my family, for my community. So whoever brought you to this call, get with them. All of you doctors, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do and educating people. Dr. Dieter, thank you as always. And if there's any questions, reach out to those people that brought you the call individually. Thank you, Dr. Dieter.
All right. Thank you, guys, and good night. And we'll do this again on Sunday and Monday. So if you came on here tonight and you wish that there was a friend or a colleague or loved one who could have been on here listening to this today, we do these science calls every Sunday and Monday to discuss this issue because the issue of health is pressing. So thank you, and look forward to seeing you guys on our next session on Sunday, and bring a loved one. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Doc.
Thanks.